Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Do you dream about coming to live in sunny Spain? Well, you're not alone. Thousands and thousands of people every year come to live in Spain. They dream about beaches and tapas and living a much slower pace of life. And they dream that some of the scenery behind us could become their view every single day. But before you pack your bags, there's some crucial steps that you must follow before you get here. So in this video, I'm going to take you through 10 things you absolutely must do before making the move to Spain. From paperwork to budgeting, and from finding the perfect location to live to avoiding common mistakes. So let's jump right in. And make sure you stick around for number 10, because that's something that most people coming to Spain don't even think about, so you don't want to miss that one. And it can save you lots of stress and possibly even thousands of euros. So, number 1, sort out all your legal and administrative paperwork. So to live in Spain full time, you'll either need an EU passport, which maybe you could get through some of your parents or grandparents, and don't forget that Ireland counts as well. If you get an EU passport, then it's pretty straightforward to come and live in Spain, and if you don't have that, then you'll need a suitable visa. Now, I've done a previous video about the different visas available, so I'll put the link down in the description for you, so you can have a wee look. You'll also need something called an NIE number, because that's essential for buying property or opening a bank account, paying taxes, etc. Now, if you're moving on an EU passport, you'll need to apply for an NIE. But if you're coming to live in Spain on a visa, an NIE will be issued as part of the visa. Unless you already have one, of course, because you may have already purchased a holiday home in Spain. And if you've done that already, you'll have an NIE. Check your residency or visa requirements at the Spanish consulate. You can go onto the website, and I'll put a link down there, and start to get your key documents ready. Your passport, birth certificates, marriage certificates, and translations, etc. But bear in mind the documents need to be dated within 3 months if you're applying for a visa. Point number 2, healthcare and insurance. So you need to think about how you're going to cover your healthcare in Spain. Will you use Spain's public system or private insurance? So you need to make sure you understand how that all works. Also how to find local doctors, check which hospitals and pharmacies are nearby, and bear in mind that if you've bought private health insurance, they'll have specific hospitals and clinics that you need to go to, so you can't just rock up at anyone because it may cost you money. So if you're applying for a visa, you'll need to have healthcare in place as part of your application, and also remember that you qualify for free healthcare in Spain if you're receiving your UK state pension, because all you do is register something called an S1 form, and that entitles you to free healthcare. But there is a bit of work to do that beforehand, so make sure you know the steps before you go for your visa appointment. Point number 3, plan your budget and your financial setup. If you're coming to live in Spain, budgeting is key. Overall Spain can be cheaper than the UK, but costs do vary widely depending on which part of Spain you choose to stay in. Remember, Spain's massive, and each province is independent and all have their own rules. So you'll obviously need to plan for rent, for bills, for food shop, transport, and most importantly, plan for fun. Because you'll be outdoors quite a lot of the time, you'll do an awful lot more outdoor things that you hadn't really planned on. So you need to budget for fun as well. Also, if you're buying a property, remember you need to add on an average around 13% on top of the purchase price to cover all your legal fees, your taxes, etc., because they soon mount up. Now, I mentioned earlier about the NIE to open a Spanish bank account. You actually don't need to open a Spanish bank account, despite what the internet tells you. We've been here coming up for 3 years now, and we haven't got a Spanish bank account. We've never needed one. We just used an online bank called N26. It's a great alternative. It gives you a Spanish IBAN number, so you can pay direct debits, you can pay rent, bills, much easier. It's got everything you need. And also, don't forget to allow for income tax on both Spain and your home country income if you've still got one from there. There is a double taxation treaty in place where you won't be taxed twice, but you do need to look into your own tax affairs, so bear that in mind before you make the jump. I'll also put the link to the N26 account there as well if you want to have a wee look at that. It's easy to open up, and I will be doing a separate video all about the different banks in Spain to give you the full picture, so look out for that one. Point number 4, research where you want to live, and do proper research, take the time to do it. Spain's massive, and different areas have different appeal, but the first step to do is just figure out where you actually want to live. As I say, Spain's huge. There's a big difference between living in a coastal town or an inland village and in a big city, so make sure you find something that you really want. And the way to do that is, think about your lifestyle. Do you want a beach? Do you want a quiet inland town? Do you want somewhere with loads of amenities and nightlife? Research your costs, healthcare, schools, if you've got kids. So this is the foundation of your smooth move. Also, bear in mind that your requirements are very likely to change once you've lived somewhere for a couple of years. So, just keep an open mind. Point number 5, sort your housing before you get here. So once you've sort of shortlisted where you want to live, you need to decide whether you want to rent or buy. Personally, I would recommend that you rent somewhere first, because it's so easy to buy the wrong property in the wrong place, and because of these extra fees, it'll cost you a lot of money if you buy the wrong house. So I'd recommend you rent somewhere first to test out the area, have a good look. So you can check various rental websites or short-term, maybe Airbnbs, to get a feel for neighbourhoods. Look at the amenities in the area, look at safety, accessibility, because this is where you're going to spend most of your time, so choose wisely. Try and visit the area you're thinking of staying in at night. It's amazing how things can change between day and night time. So, listen out for noisy neighbours, barking dogs, because there are plenty around in Spain, so you don't want to get caught out by living next door to an antisocial neighbour or a barking dog, so keep that in mind. Point number 6, learn basic Spanish. Now, I can't stress how important that is to, learn just even a little Spanish, because having a little Spanish goes a long way. Learn basic phrases, for shopping, for buying bus tickets, for asking where the toilets are. In emergencies, just try and have a few that you've learned. People appreciate the effort, and it does make daily life so much easier living in Spain. Also, try to get to know your Spanish neighbours once you're in Spain. And if you let them know that you're trying to learn Spanish, they really will help you, and they really appreciate it. So point number 7, make sure you plan for transportation. Now, you need to decide where you're going to live if you need a car, especially if you're inland in some of the smaller towns. So the bus routes in these smaller towns are not great, and if you're relying on the bus in some of these smaller provinces and smaller towns, the service is sparse. and it's often unreliable. So look carefully if you're going to be relying on the bus before you settle somewhere. And if you do need a car, obviously you're going to have to swap your driving licence over. It's a fairly straightforward process here in Spain now. There's been an agreement between the UK and Spain where they can have a driving licence exchange. So I'll maybe do another little video on that at some point, but don't worry about swapping your licence. It's fairly straightforward. But you know, the poor transport in a fantastic place can make or break your experience of living there. So you know, you really need to look into the options before you commit to anything. Point number 8. You have to understand the cultural and lifestyle differences. As part of your research, learn about Spanish customs, you know, their meal times, the siestas that they have. You know, very often if you live in an apartment block that's mainly lived in by Spanish, they'll actually have a curfew between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock where you can't make any noise at the pool. So, you know, if you've got any kids visiting or grandkids, etc., and they want to splash around in a pool, have a good look at where you're going to live to see how much the siesta is embraced, because it really is still very popular here in Spain. Look out for local fiestas to learn about the culture. There's fiestas on and parades on all the time. You know, just to identify and find out social norms. I'd advise that you join any sort of local expat groups online to get insider tips and meet people. It just makes settling in so much smoother. You know, Facebook groups are an invaluable way to get to know the area you're thinking of settling in. So join these, ask some questions and get involved. Point number 9. Pack smart when you're shipping your belongings. So you really need to decide carefully what you're going to bring with you, or what you're going to give away, you know, donate to charity, etc. You need to consider climate appropriate clothing, and you know, research shipping companies for your belongings, and you know, only bring what you really need. Moving is much easier when you travel light. Also keep in mind that most Spanish houses and apartments have got very little storage space, you know, cupboards, etc. So choose what you want to bring carefully, because you're likely to end up having to give loads of stuff away if you bring too much stuff. So think carefully about it, you know. I can't stress that enough. We brought loads of stuff and ended up having to give loads of it away to charity when we got here. So you know, have a good think about that. And then finally, point 10, have a backup plan. Make sure you've got a plan B. Now, this is really important, and lots of people don't do this and they get caught out. You know, make sure you keep an emergency fund. Know how to contact the embassy, the UK embassy if it's UK, and obviously your own embassy if you're from another country. You know, be prepared for surprises. Things do happen that you haven't thought about. Moving abroad's amazing, but you know, it does come with unexpected challenges. So being as prepared as you possibly can be for any emergencies makes life so much easier if things go wrong. You know, just find out how to call the local fire service, the police and ambulance. You know, for all of those, the number 112 is the best option. That will get you through to the emergency services, and they're really very good here in Spain. You know, check other numbers like local doctors that will come on a call out if you need somebody in a hurry. You know, where can I get medicines in a hurry if I need to get it? You know, plan for all of these things. What happens if I lose my cards or my phone? Do all the planning before you get here and your life will be much smoother. And it's amazing how many people haven't done that when they come to live in Spain. So there you have it. That's what I believe are the 10 essential things that you need to do before moving to Spain. So if you found this one useful, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell. I share lots and lots of videos, regular updates. I want to make sure that you don't miss any. So if you click on those little buttons, that'll help you see the latest content. And also if you've got any questions about moving into Spain or any particular areas you want me to have a look at, just give me a shout. I'll be happy to do that if I can. And finally, don't forget to tap that hype button if you can find it. That's a new tool that YouTube have put in to help us grow the channel. So just tap on the hype button and that'll help us grow. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one, and we'll see you all on the next video. Hasta luego.